So this is gonna sound like a line from a romantic comedy, but let's talk about Us. Written, directed, and produced by Jordan Peele, and starring Lupita Nyong'o, Winston Duke, Elizabeth Moss, Shahadi Wright Joseph, and Evan Alex. Sorry. And this is a movie about a family that's having a staycation. They head to a sort of beach house, and while there, they are attacked by another family. So it might seem like your straightforward type thriller horror movie, but this one has a twist in that the family that's attacking them are their doppelgangers. So let's talk about Us. Now, this is Jordan Peele's sophomore effort after his amazing, fantastic, well received both critically and at the box office, Get Out. So everybody, of course, was excited to see what this man is going to come with next. And he brought us this movie, Us. And I, for one, am happy to say that I think as horror movies go, it's pretty damn good. So let's get into it. First of all, the directing here is fantastic. I really love his eye for details and his symbolism that he uses in his movies. While watching it, you definitely see some Hitchcock there with the birds. And before I go any further, guys, you know me, I don't like to talk spoilers, but I'm gonna get slightly spoilery, it's just when I'm referring to certain symbols and that sort of thing. So I promise you guys, it's not gonna give anything away for those who haven't seen it as yet. So back on track. Visuals, yeah, so there was definitely Hitchcock's birds in there. For me, there was Kubrick's The Shining. There's a scene with an escalator in the end and a certain hallway and corridor, and I got that type of vibe from that. Definitely some invasions of the body snatchers in there. All these beautiful references to wonderful films. That opening shot of the car from overhead as the family is driving to their vacation destination. Again, we have The Shining right there. So horror lovers are gonna have a ball with this the way I did. That said, to me this movie is more of a thriller than a horror, but there's nothing wrong with that. So visually, this movie overall works for me. Even the dark moments, this movie is a lot about shadow and shadow self, so those dark moments play off really well. I mean, when you realize there's something there in the darkness. And Lupita Nyong'o, we'll get into how fantastic she is in this movie, but just her visual presence and that difference, that shadow version of her and her light version, so to speak, and how just the eyes, it's all in the eyes, as they say. I just think she's amazing here. But the directing here, Jordan Peele has already proven himself with Get Out, and now with this one on a much larger budget. He definitely knows what he's doing. And as a writer as well, because like I said, he wrote this movie, and it's not about race. So for those who may be avoiding the movie because they don't want to get into that, it's definitely its own story. It's almost like he's putting together an anthology of films, because I think he has 4 movies planned in terms of the horror genre, and this is his second. So I think he's going to touch on something different every single movie. So it's not Get Out 2. Let's get that out of the way. The acting in this movie, everybody delivers. Those kids were amazing. And the fact that you have to play a dark version of yourself, that's not always easy to do. I think Winston Duke, shout out to Mr. Duke all the way from his homeland of Trinidad and Tobago. Winston Duke, what he does as his shadow self. Now, again, I'm getting a little spoilery here in that certain shadow people, I'm calling them that, certain doppelgangers, certain shadow people, they don't speak. And I think there's a reason for that I can't get into, because I'll start to spoil things. Some do, like Shadow Adelaide. I think that's the name in the movie, Lupita Nyong'o's character. So the acting here, everybody has to bring these dark versions of themselves to light, especially the 4 main characters. And I think they do a wonderful job, especially the younger actors, because they could have come across as silly, and they knock it out the park. Shahadi Wright Joseph her dark self is so creepy. Oh my goodness, her facial expressions, it's just unnerving. And like I said, Lupita Nyong'o, she's basically the strength of this film. She's a mother character. She's a central character of this film. Everything is happening around her for reasons, and she nails it. She knocks it out of the park, you know. So from an acting point of view, this movie is very, very strong. Story wise now, if I have to compare this to Get Out, if somebody were to ask me which one do you think is the better movie, granted they're not the same films in any way, both movies, I think I would give it to Get Out. And the reason for that is Get Out was a movie that I couldn't really figure out certain secrets, certain twists that were coming. Whereas with Us, I think most people who watch genre films are gonna see that twist coming from a mile away. That said, it doesn't really take away from the film because it makes you want to go back. And all those symbols you see, all those clues from the very beginning of the movie, there are certain VHS tapes on the shelf. There are little clues littered here and there in the movie. There's a lot of symbolism. And I think that's what's enjoyable about this movie. You're going to want to revisit it. You're going to want to go back and see if you could figure out what the clues were. There's some big ones and there's some smaller ones. So again, I'm not going to spoil it for anybody. I definitely would love to do a spoiler video on this movie with my own theories about what's going on here. But you know what? There are channels like the Awesome Found Flicks that does that so much more better. So much better than I could. So I'm going to leave that alone. That said, my theory is basically there are sides of ourselves that we don't show people, and sometimes the things you bury inside you could get very volatile and eventually come out in the worst ways. So that's just my little theory about what this movie represents and what it's about, at least one aspect of this movie. Overall, guys, I think this is a solid thriller. I don't consider it a horror, but it's definitely a thriller. I love all of his references to the greats like Alfred Hitchcock and Stanley Kubrick and so on and so forth. I think Jordan Peele has given us horror lovers, or us genre lovers, something to look forward to. And I'm very happy to see horror coming back into the mainstream as strongly as it has these past few years now. So I'm giving Us a 7 out of 10. Fantastic movie, and I for one can't wait to see what the third film Mr. Peele has up his sleeve looks like. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please feel free to hit that thumbs up button. It's very much appreciated. If you want to subscribe to my channel, you can click on my face right over there. And until next time, guys, bye bye.